How's it going, y'all? Rowdy Riles back with another roundup. Hopefully everyone can hear me. If anyone's here yet, looks like we got a couple of early birds. Um, 7:04. Well, you were a whole hour early. I mean, an hour early that would not give anyone time to be here if they were planning on being here. But maybe next time we'll start a little early. Who knows? Same time, toys. How's it going? Agent of Gen Z. Also, hello, Kaiju Kitty. How's it going? What's going on? So today we're talking about my top 5 favorite movies. We're also going to talk about that Marvel Legends stream today, which was disappointing in my opinion. And then there's another thing I wanted to talk about if we get to there. But yeah, so we'll give it a couple minutes. Wait for more people to get here. Hello, titular heroine. How's it going? Also, once again, hello, Same Time Toys. Go subscribe to him if you're not subscribed. So yeah, top 5 movies. So movies are really important to me. I do some movie reviews sometimes on the channel, usually when I actually go to the movies and think about doing it. Like I went to see Nosferatu and I really wanted to do a review, but I just didn't get the time because all the other stuff I'm doing, the streaming, the regular YouTube stuff. But movies are a really important part of my personality and my, my collection, because a lot of my collection is inspired by movies. So, comic books and all that stuff also turned into movies. That being said, there's no comic book movies on my top 5, surprisingly. So, yeah, I guess we'll get started with the top 5. So let me get my screen share up here. So my number 5 movie is a really good movie. I don't know if everyone's seen it, but it's called The Departed, obviously, and it stars Mark Wahlberg, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson. It's here, let me make that bigger actually so you can see the poster. It's a really good movie. It's a crime movie. It's one of those movies I don't watch often. But it's one of those movies that I went and saw in theaters and I really, really wanted to see it. And it's I don't want to spoil any of these movies for anyone that hasn't seen them, but it's a movie about a rat in what happens when a rat goes into law enforcement for the mob, etc. And a whole bunch of shenanigans ensue. And Martin Scorsese directed it. It's got, who else is in there? Martin Sheen. There's just a lot of actors in this movie. And it's one of those movies that if you've never, ever seen it before, hey, Action Figure Addict, how's it going? Departed is a good movie. It's a great movie. In fact, that's why it's on my top 5. And overall, I've only seen it about maybe 6 or 7 times. But that's because it's hard to watch. It's one of those movies where you're like, I know that this is coming. I know it's about to happen, and I don't really want to see that happening. But, I don't want to spoil any of these movies for anyone that hasn't seen them. It's also an older movie. It came out in I want to say 2006, something like that. So it's up there in age as far as being in my top 5, but most of my top 5 movies are older. But The Departed is a really good movie. If you have not seen that movie, you definitely should. I think the last time I watched it was on Peacock, which was a couple weeks ago. So if you watch wrestling, you probably have Peacock. So if you haven't seen The Departed, you should check that out because it's a great movie. It's about 2.5 hours, so it's a long movie, but it's definitely worth at least watching once in your life. And if you watch it, you may be like, dang, I'll have to watch it again. And, some of the Boston accents are pretty bad, but I'm not from Boston, so I couldn't tell you what they're supposed to sound like, but I know some of them aren't supposed to sound like that. So there's a couple of things that are iffy about the movie, and it's bloody. There's a couple of things they say in the movie that you just wouldn't say in a movie anymore. Yeah, it's not one of those ones you should watch I got to watch this every so-and-so because it's you got to watch it sparingly because it's a hard watch. And speaking of hard watches, my number 4 movie is another hard watch. It's one of those movies that I haven't watched too many times simply because by the end of it, I'm going to be bawling. I'm going to be, a huge mess. But we have, let me see if I can get this up here. A Star is Born with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. And it is kind of a musical, but it's a musical in the sense that there's music in the movie, but it's not like we're just gonna break out in singing. So anyone who's like, oh, a musical, it's gonna be terrible. No, it's a movie. It's a really, really heartbreaking movie, but it's a really, really well-made movie. Lady Gaga is fantastic in it. Bradley Cooper is fantastic in it. It's, I'm a girly girl. Sometimes I gotta watch some stuff like that. So Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper in a romance movie that isn't, a lot of these movies have this in common. Well, not all of them, but some of them, for my top five, at least the bottom ones, like, dang, that's a sad ending. And this movie is one of those ones, just like The Departed, but The Departed, it's kind of like, you get what you deserve. And this one is just kind of a really, man, that sucks. That shouldn't be happening. And it's about this girl. I don't want to spoil anything. Like I said, Lady Gaga obviously is the girl, and she meets this music star who just changes her life. And it's about how that changes people, the things people have to deal with as stars, the things they've been dealing with. And it's just one of those movies that really kind of pulls you in, and then it breaks your heart. And you're like, so my girlfriend's favorite movie is Interstellar, and she had showed me that movie, and I had never seen it before. And by the end of it, I was absolutely bawling. I was like, oh, this is horrible. Why'd you show me this? And then I was like, all right, so now I need to show you my favorite movie that makes me feel this way. And I put on A Star is Born, and she guessed what was going to happen in the end, and she didn't want to finish it. And I was like, that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out, because now you didn't get to go through what I went through and seeing that and crying like that, because that's not fair. But it's a great movie. If you haven't seen A Star is Born, if you like Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga in any capacity, Sam Elliott's in there too. There's a couple other people in there, but it's mainly about Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. But you should really, really see this movie. It's a ride. It'll get you up and then it'll get you way down. But it is definitely one of my favorite movies. Don't have a problem with musicals. Phantom of the Paradise and Little Shop of Horrors. I do like Little Shop of Horrors. Are you trying to say Fan of the Opera? Phantom of the Paradise? I don't know what that is. Little Shop of Horrors is great, though. I have seen that. Hello, Leia. How's it going? Nice to see you. So number 5, The Departed. Number 4, A Star is Born. Breakfast Club is a great movie. I've only seen it a few times, but it's one of those movies that when I do see it, I'm like, dang, that's a great movie. So I do understand where you're coming from with that one. So we're at number 3. And like I said, we're going to go over my top 5 movies. We'll talk about what's coming up. And then we'll break down that Marvel live stream. And I do want to talk about another thing, hopefully. On that subject, like I said, we will get to the Marvel Legends. Yeah, we're going to, and we'll talk about the Marvel Legends when I get there. This is going to take probably like 20 minutes to get through my top 5 movies. And take a couple minutes to talk about what's coming out. If y'all have anything that's coming out that you wanted to see. How's it going? Also, Jar, by the way. So like it's a different version of Phantom of the Opera. Pretty in Pink. I have not seen that movie. I need to watch that. All right. So number 3 for me. So growing up, I was one of those kids who was always reading. Reading all the time. And there was this little movie coming out, and I found the book at Costco because I used to go there and shop it as a kid. My grandparents would take me. And it was called The Lord of the Rings, and it was all 3 books combined into one. So it was like this freaking big. And I was like 10 or 11 when I got the book, and the movie was coming out pretty soon after. So I bought the book. I started reading it. Fellowship of the Ring was coming out. I finished Fellowship. I almost finished Two Towers by the time Fellowship came out. So by the time Return of the King came out, I had finished the entire trilogy of The Lord of the Rings. So you can bet that I was super excited when Fellowship came out. And they also happened to fall really close to my birthday because my birthday is December 23rd. And all of the Lord of the Rings movies came out in December. That was like December 2001, December 2002, December 2003. So my number 3 movie is the culmination of all 3 of those movies. Of course, it's Return of the King, because Return of the King is just a fantastic movie. And also, hello, Spider fan, how's it going? I'm not the biggest musical person, but the most recent movie I watched that's been close to a musical is Rocket Man. Rocket Man is a great movie. The Elton John movie, that's a really good movie. So is Bohemian Rhapsody. Bryan Singer aside, like I know he was removed from the project, but you've never seen Lord of the Rings? Oh my gosh, you're missing out. You're missing out. I mean, I do get it. It is very long, but Return of the King is the culmination of not only the movies for me, but for the books, because yes, the movies are not perfect as far as adaptations. Sorry, I start to lose my voice really early when I start to talk like this. I'll have to adapt to that. But Return of the King is the culmination of about, what was it, 6 hours of movies at this point. So 2 movies. And then if you watch the extended editions, it's even more. So you get to the Return of the King, and it's just all these characters, everything that they've been through. It's just one of those journeys that if you're into it and you had been there from the start, you had to see it through. So going to see Return of the King was a feeling. It was one of those things you're just like, dang, that movie really made me feel something. Like I can remember I was 13. I had turned 13 because it was 2003 when this came out. And I just remember sitting at the end of this movie just bawling my eyes out. And then no one else in my family was crying. And they're just like, why are you crying? I'm just like, because you don't get it. You don't get it. But I totally got it because I'd read the books. I knew what was going on. I was like, well, here we go. They're going off to the oh, I hate those movies. And it sucks that Peter Jackson directed them because should have been 1 3-hour Hobbit movie, not 3 2.5 hour Hobbit movies. There was not enough material, and you don't take stuff from the Silmarillion and turn it into another part of the Hobbit. You make a Silmarillion movie instead. I'm a Tolkien nerd, so but yeah, Return of the Kings, like I said, no spoilers for any of these movies in the stream, but Return of the King is, I have a poster for it on my wall. So that'll tell you how I feel about this movie. And the cast is great. Everybody that's cast in these movies is perfect. I couldn't imagine anyone else playing these characters. So number 3 for me, Return of the King. Such a great movie. Without Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, fantasy would not be what it is today. Without Tolkien, we wouldn't have Dungeons and Dragons and all that other stuff. So very influential, very important as far as literature and also film, in my opinion. How's it going, Ron? Thank you for coming in, stopping in to say hi. I will try to catch some of the other streams afterwards, but you know, once I do my YouTube stream, I'm pretty tired. So it's good to see you. I appreciate you popping in. So we're through 3 out of 5 movies so far, which is good. Like I said, it'll take about 20 minutes, and then we'll get into the Marvel Legends stuff. I will like go over a couple movies that I'm excited for this year. I'm not going to like pull up anything just because I'm not that technically capable yet as far as streaming. I'll need to learn how to do better. But for my number 2 movie, who would have guessed that we have the best Star Wars movie of all time, The Empire Strikes Back. It's in my book, it's not debatable because Empire is just, it's got everything. It's got that dark ending where you don't know what's going to happen, but it's slightly optimistic. You got the hero in peril. You're set up for a perfect ending, and it's darker. The writing is tighter. The dialogue between Han and Leia is perfect. I really, really love Han and Leia's dynamic in The Empire Strikes Back. There's just nothing better as far as romance on screen for Harrison Ford than Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford. Like, that's perfect. I know Karen Allen. I don't want to get into Indiana Jones yet. I know Karen Allen and Marion is great, but Return of the Jedi is a great movie. I'll have to do a Star Wars tier list one day. I don't want to rank them here, but I will say the original trilogy is by far my favorite of all the Star Wars content that we have. And then the prequel trilogy is also my second favorite. As a fellow millennial, well, I don't know if you're a millennial, but as fellow millennials usually are, we do like the prequels. In the sequel trilogy, I like the first one. I like the first one. So we'll have to do a Star Wars ranking at some point. But back to the movie in question. The Empire Strikes Back. So I think that I'm pretty sure the first Star Wars movie that I saw was A New Hope. And then I saw Empire Strikes Back and I was just like, yo, they make movies like this? Also, Hey Figure Fight Club, y'all need to really go subscribe to Abby because he's doing a giveaway at 1K and he's at like almost 850 right now. And he's got so many things he's giving away. He's actually giving away a HasLab Dragonfly at 1,000. So if you're into G.I. Joe, if you're into chat with lots of YouTube creators, lots of big names on ToyTube, as it's called, check out Figure Fight Club. Pretty please. I'm getting tongue twisted. Please check out Figure Fight Club. Tuesdays, there's an open mic, so if you want to hop in the stream, you're welcome to hop in. And he does streams almost every day. There's always someone there. I think, is it tonight that you're doing the football figures? What I don't collegiate. Just remind me in the chat what they're called. But Figure Fight Club is great. I did a shout out on my posts, but please go check him out and subscribe. And tomorrow is that stream. So if you're into sports figures, he has the creators of the collegiate figure, which is like football figures line coming. So definitely check out Figure Fight Club. Now back to business, and he does his main show on Friday nights, and that's when he has all the big names and all that stuff on there, and they are called Collegiate Legends. And you know what? Let me take a pause in here just to bring this up really quick. We'll find some Collegiate Legends here just to show y'all, to give you a sneak peek of his stream and what he's bringing to the table tomorrow. I will do my best to find it. I'm not going to guarantee I can find it. Here we go. Collegiate Legends home. That was pretty easy. Here we go. So look at these. So I believe Hasbro was going to be making football figures, and those were leaked. And these guys are kind of picking up that torch and doing their own line of football figures. So we've already got some sellouts right here, sold out, $100 there, which has a lot of cool stuff. And then these are only $30. So some pretty cool stuff coming. And if you want to see more about that, check out Figure Fight Club tomorrow night. So yeah, back to main business of the channel or the stream for tonight. We are going back to, so Empire Strikes Back is my number 2. So what is Riley's number 1 movie? Well, it may not be that hard to figure out if you know me even slightly, but my favorite movie, the best movie of all time, in my opinion, is, drum roll please, Raiders of the Lost Ark. So Harrison Ford's got a twofer on my list. As much as I love Han Solo, I love Indiana Jones that much more. Then he's got everything. He does, punching those guys that we can't say the name of on YouTube right now, or in general. We've got romance, we've got adventure, we've got the supernatural, we've got a great chase sequence, probably one of the best chase sequences of all time. Really, really love the scene where they're, don't want to spoil it, but it's called Raiders Lost Ark. They find the Ark of the Covenant, and I love the chase scene of that. And he gets shot in the arm, and he's just still, it's just such a great movie. And all of I know people are stale or like they're iffy on the later 2 Indiana Jones movies. Why did it have to be snakes? I hate snakes, Jock. I hate them. I could quote the movie all day. Exactly. Punching those things. And who's Grandpa? Grandpa got a firefly? That's cool. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Gosh, what a movie. It's so as a child, I saw Temple of Doom first. Temple of Doom was the original Indiana Jones movie I saw. And after I saw that, I was like, is there more? Is there more So I like sought it out on myself. I think the first time I saw Raiders Lost Ark, I was at a friend's house, and I remember they had like a vivarium with like a lizard in it. So I vaguely remember that. But I know we were looking through the movies and they had Raiders Lost Ark, and I was like, yo, we have to watch this. We have to watch Raiders Lost Ark because it had Indiana Jones. Yeah, I know. Some people haven't seen the greatest movie of all time. I've met people that haven't seen a single Indiana Jones movie, and I love every single Indiana Jones movie. So I have the VHS, and I have the Blu-ray, and I have the DVD. So, wow, my voice cracked there. Raiders Lost Ark, one of the greatest movies of all time. Spielberg, Lucas, Harrison Ford collaborating for the perfect adventure movie, the perfect romance movie. Just, you got this venturing archaeologist. He's professor by day, adventurer by night, pulls a revolver and a bullwhip around and just does what you wish he could do, just goes out and takes care of the problem. So we love Indiana Jones on this channel. That Mezco Indiana Jones is great. I bought every single figure in the Adventure series line. The game Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is fantastic. I loved I did actually really like Dial of Destiny. I thought it was great. And while Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is not on the level of great, it still has that Spielberg flair that Dial of Destiny was missing. So like if Dial of Destiny had a little bit more of what Kingdom of the Crystal Skull had, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull had a little bit less of that, I think both of those movies would have been better for it. But like Raiders is a 10. Empire Strikes Back is like a 9.5. The Return of the King is like also a 9.5. But Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, I like sci-fi more than I like fantasy, and that's just barely. So, Star is Born, I love Lady Gaga. I love that movie. I did not think it would be one of my favorite movies going to see it, but after I saw it, I was like, I feel like I'm going to want to watch that again. And I have watched it multiple times. And then, of course, at the bottom, we have The Departed by Martin Scorsese. So, all great movies, all top worthy of number one, in my opinion. But for the purpose of this video and for the purpose of my brain, I'm like, this is my list right here. So now that we got the top movies out of the way that are, my favorite, what's coming out this year? So we have the new Jurassic Park, which is called what? Jurassic World Rebirth, with Scarlett Johansson and the guy that was going to play Blade, who's no longer playing Blade anymore, Mahershala Ali. And that looks interesting. The way I see it is we get more CG dinosaurs. Can't go wrong. I love dinosaurs. So as long as there's dinosaurs in the movie, and I only saw the extended version of the last Jurassic World movie, so I didn't really care that there weren't enough dinosaurs in the movie, which is apparently a problem with the theatrical release, which is insane to me. Nobody wants to see, nobody wants to see that. They want to see dinosaurs. So I'm hoping that they correct that with Jurassic World. Thunderbolts is coming out. That looks great. I haven't seen Captain America yet. Someone said it was good, worth going to see. I do plan on seeing that. I'm not sure when I'll get the time, but I do want to see Captain America. Thunderbolts looks like it's going to be fun. It looks like it's going to be one of those out-of-pocket movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, where people are going to be thinking, I don't know. And they're going to go out of the movie feeling like, that was actually pretty enjoyable. I think people are going to like that movie. I think I'm going to like that movie. And then, I can't really think of any other movies that are coming out. If you know of anything that's coming out this year that we haven't mentioned, that looked interesting. The Monkey. What's it? Stephen King and A24. That looks good. I'll probably try to see that with the horror movies and stuff. My girlfriend doesn't really like them, so I have to wait usually for streaming for those. But it is what it is. I'll see it at some point, and it does look good. And I've heard it's good, and I shouldn't have listened to what people were saying on YouTube and Reddit and just gone and seen it. But I was also not feeling the best that day, so I was like, maybe I'll skip that one. All right. So movies, unless I'll go through the chat as we go, and people can bring up, other movies. But now we're going to talk about that Hasbro Pulse stream. Oh my God, what was that? Was just the most disappointing thing ever. Let me find it. I had everything pulled up and prepared, and I do. So I'm on toyark.com. So shout out to Toyark. So here we go with the Marvel Legends Pulse stream. We got the movies out of the way. That was about half of the show. I don't know how, we may go a little bit longer depending on where this conversation goes and if y'all are still active and still wanting to see more. And yeah, I also really try not to listen to critics because generally critics are wrong and it's the audience score that matters. Even on Rotten Tomatoes is just not, absolutely. You can shamelessly plug your channel. Action Figure Addict, go subscribe to them. They do their first new shows last night covering upcoming horror movies. So maybe I should have watched that video before I saw it was coming out. You know what I do know is coming out though? Robert Eggers is doing Wolfman. Wolfman. So that'll be interesting. I'm excited for that because Nosferatu was such a good movie. And yeah, their Beep show, absolutely. Yeah, me too. What a piece of crap, right? Like the sculpt is cool, but all right, so here we go. So here are these guys that look so enthusiastic to be presenting us this garbage. Like you can just tell he's so happy to be there. The joy is apparent on his face. We have Ryan from marketing and Dwight. Oh, well, I know who they are, but Dwight is just so full of joy and happiness. He's like, everyone's going to be loving these reveals that we're showing today. So we have Ryan and Dwight there with some of the earlier Spider-Man Gamerverse stuff, which most of it is not great in my opinion. That Spider-Man is just a repaint of the Renew Your Vows. And Horror Haven 96 is our horror movie channel. We will have podcasts every Tuesday and horror news live every Wednesday night. So make sure to subscribe to Horror Haven 96. I will be sure to do that over the show. You can shoot me a message and remind me. I don't know why you didn't tell me. And this is a different Wolfman. That was Leigh Whannell who did like Saw and stuff. Or was it the other one that did Saw? But there's a Robert Eggers Wolfman coming out that's like spelled like the German spelling would be. That's going to come out in like 2026 or 2027. So that's the Wolfman I'm talking about. And apparently that Wolfman was like different, but not the best. But I will see it when it comes out on streaming. So here we go. Marvel Gamerverse, Spider-Man 2. So here is the meat and potatoes of my channel. I'm hoping to it not be anymore because my Marvel Legends collection is almost complete. So we have Ghost Spider, which is on an older buck with pinless limbs. It looks like, let me know if you know exactly which body mold that is, but he has some little toesies on there. How's it going, Headcanon? Nice to see you. Also check out Headcanon, another YouTuber. So always like to spread the love around here. That sculpt on this Ghost Spider is cool. But in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, y'all, but, as far as Marvel Legends are concerned, I think my opinion is pretty valid because I have a lot of them. And it is probably Sunfire. It looks like Sunfire, but it may be that new, the Damian Hellstrom body, Moon Knight body, which is actually Sunfire. So I don't know. But we've got stupid I'm trying not to swear, sorry. Stupid waist cut down here with just an ab crunch instead of the superior ab crunch and upper ball peg torso, but we don't have that. And then of course, yeah, it's just meh. Doesn't look too impressive. I mean, the paint's cool, the colors are cool, but it's like, why would I buy this? I don't need this, and it's only at Walmart. So, you can pose it all you want, Hasbro. It's really not. And then we have this Kingpin, who is reuse of the Joe Fixit body, which is Dumb, because Joe Fixit is way too big to be Kingpin. This Kingpin is humongous. And the Gamerverse Kingpin is smaller than a comic book Kingpin. So why is he bigger than the comic book Kingpin that we have as far as height? Maybe not width, but in height, he's bigger. That's because he's on the Joe Fixit body. So this Kingpin, it's just like, unless you don't have one and you need a Kingpin for your collection, for your comic book collection, do we need this? No, we do not. We don't need this. And here you can see Ryan looking so very enthused as Dwight has to explain to us why we should buy this Kingpin, which we're all just like crickets chirping. Only at Amazon, so you know that'll sell out regardless because Amazon likes to do the FOMO thing as well. And then we have the repaints. We have this repainted Miles, which is still on the same Gamerverse Miles body. I don't understand why they are so against doing updates, but you know what he does have is butterfly joints. Make a note of that. He does have butterfly joints. And we do not have upper ball peg. We just have ab crunch and waist swivel, which also sucks. So I'm glad that they're fixing that with the new comic book Miles. But this is just Repaint City. Oh, we'll get to him. We will get to him, I promise. We're only on 31 minutes. We've got plenty of time. But yeah, there's Miles' upgraded suit. So I guess it's meant to look kind of like Peter's upgraded suit. So, and then here we have the symbiote suit, which on first glance, yes, it looks cool. It looks great. But then you look closer and he's got no butterfly joints. He's just got the old shoulder pegs and swivels. So no butterfly joints. We do get, of course, double joints and all that stuff. We get the right articulation on the torso, but we don't have butterfly joints. So it doesn't matter because this would be cool to have. And I'm like, oh, that's one I can pre-order. But, the sculpting is cool. It looks like the one from the game, which I still haven't played yet, by the way. It's out on PC, and I still haven't beaten. I still haven't beaten the first one on PC. So, not quite there yet to having played Spider-Man 2. And I don't know. I just feel kind of mad about it. This whole wave, I just feel kind of mad. Like, this is just another repaint. Let's say Miles, which, like I said, has butterfly joints. And this is also like a three-year-old figure at this point, maybe older than that. Currently, it's the main Miles on my shelf. I'm waiting for that new comic one, but that's the original release. So they've reused this like about 6 times now at this point because they did the Invisible one, they did the Spider-Man 2 update with the new forearms before. So there's just a lot of things. It's just like Hasbro. This is why I don't want to buy more. Oh, and here's what a lot of people were mad about. This is the anti-venom suit, but it's blue, and the parts that should be black or white. So they're just like, oh, look, here's the golden carrot. You're going to buy the anti-venom suit at some point. But are we? Does he have butterfly joints? No, he doesn't. In fact, he's on a different body, completely different like makeup than the Renew Your Vows or the symbiote Spider-Man, so he won't even match up with your Gamerverse Spider-Man if you tried because he's just a different proportions. I don't know. Maybe I'm just jaded at this point. All I want from Hasbro at this point, I said this on Displaying Model Behavior stream. Check out Dave. He's great. I know y'all all pretty watch Dave. I don't need to tell you to check out Dave. But I really just want Hasbro Marvel Legends to focus on only the comic books, only new characters we haven't seen, or classic updates to get rid of the pin figures that we've had in the past. Like, we need a pinless Fantastic Four. We need pinless yada, yada, yada. We need this villain, so-and-so, Mole Man, blah, blah, blah. Those figures. We don't need more Gamerverse Spider-Man. We don't. Some people want it, and that's fine. But I think that it should be completely separate from Marvel Legends. I don't think that they should dedicate a whole stream to a bunch of repaints and 2 new sculpts, because this is a repaint. This isn't a new sculpt. This is Sunfire. Look at the shoulder gap. So while there is some new details with the heads and all that stuff, and then we have this. So yeah, let me just get past that. We need to talk about that. That's just stupid. Why do they have so many pictures of that? And then we have this, which is cool. But you know what we need more than this? We need a new comic book Black Cat on the Black Widow body or the Warbird body. We don't. Where is Daredevil? We need a Daredevil. But you know, this Black Cat is just not it. Like, I haven't gotten to the games yet, but we don't need this. We don't need any Game Reverse figures. I want a new Black Cat that's not a piece of crap. Just a stream of disappointment is what they should have called it. Like the Game Reverse stream. Yes, it's cool. They dedicated an all new sculpt to Black Cat and she looks articulated. That's great. But you can't really use it for a comic book Black Cat. So to Ollie she goes, probably. I don't know. And there's the back of the box, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these figures in this wave are Spider-Man. And they're repaints. And there's that whole thing. And I didn't even see that there was more stuff other than this, but the disappointment doesn't end here, folks. Oh, wait, I forgot about Venom. So yeah, we also have this Venom. So we get the Game Reverse Venom, which, you know, it's cool that he has the drool effects and all that. He's the right size for the game. Listen, as much as I buy Hasbro, I also gripe on Hasbro. Like, I don't show for them. I don't be like, oh, Hasbro, I love you so much, because guess what? They suck a lot. And I will buy some of their stuff, but you guarantee you that it's going to be less and less and less. Yeah, 5. I need pictures of Spider-Man, pictures of all 5 Spider-Men. You know, just it's turning into Batman for this wave. You know, I love Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong, but nobody needs all these repaints of the same Spider-Man figure. And yeah, the Venom's cool. He's all right. I don't think that he has. Does he have butterfly joints? Are those butterfly joints, or is that just the sculpt? Listen, I couldn't tell you. I think he may have butterfly joints. Okay, he has butterfly joints. So he does have butterfly joints. Yeah, tooling. It's just Hasbro's lazy. That's the tooling there. And apparently this like slobber effect is removable, which is interesting. Yeah, definitely. Mezcos are great. I have a few of them and don't know what that is. I have a few Mezcos and all of them are great. A couple of issues with some of them, but the thing about Marvel Legends is most of my Marvel figures are Marvel Legends. Yeah. No, I know you were joking. It's just I get mad about this kind of stuff because I love Marvel. I love that we have figures that I only dreamed of having when I was a kid, and I just don't like to see it mishandled. Like same with DC. There's a reason I don't talk about DC, and it's because the only people making DC stuff is too expensive for me to just jump in and be like, I need all this. Can't do it. So here they are just looking at their creation lovingly, obviously, just knowing people are going to buy Venom. So, I mean, that looks cool. I can't say that the Venom doesn't look cool, but it's just, it's just another Venom. And we've seen a lot of Venom over the years. So, especially the last couple years. And I'm a Venom fan. I like Venom, but I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to get this. You're not going to see the review for that on my channel. Where is, hold on. I got to find, because they did more. Then here we go. I don't know why it closed out. So, are you ready to see me be really mad? Because this is kind of ridiculous that this is still, yeah, no, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing because, unfortunately, people like me and other people will buy this stuff because I bought Maximum Spider-Man and pre-ordered it. I haven't paid for it yet, but I pre-ordered it, and that's because I still want the perfect Spider-Man. We don't have the perfect Marvel Legends Spider-Man yet, and I don't want to put my Mofex that's coming. I still don't have my Mofex, by the way. He's stuck somewhere in limbo. I don't want to put my Mofex Spider-Man on my Marvel Legends shelf because that throws off the whole scaling for me. And I want that Maximum Spider-Man to be like right in between Renew Your Vows and Amazing Fantasy. But yeah, well, we're getting to those. So this right here. Do you notice something on his legs? Right here. It's 2025, y'all. This is a figure with pins in his legs. He probably has them in his arms too. So they're reusing such an old mold. They couldn't be asked to remake these legs like they couldn't do it. Check out my Cable video because I got mad about that too. They did all new sculpt for Cable. All new sculpt for Cable. Except for his right arm. They reused one. And now we've got the is it Warpath or who is this? So they're reusing the Omega Red body, which they used for Retro Carded Venom, but they could have updated that Retro Carded Venom and given us pinless limbs for that Retro Carded Venom, and then had the pinless limbs for this guy. But did Hasbro do that? No. Instead, they decided we're going to reuse this mold. Sorry, I'm really losing my voice here. We're going to reuse this mold again in 2025 and expect people to buy this 2-pack because it comes with hold for the sound bite that I don't have, because it comes with Laura Kinney X-23. Oh, and look, there's pins in the arms. And that's why when she has all new tooling, but you can guarantee, or it's not all new tooling and they're reusing that Marrow body. I don't know because I don't have the figure yet. But they could have remade this Omega Red body figure. And we know they're going to reuse this for X-23 Wolverine at some point. But this is the crap that they're giving us, expecting us to buy it because, oh, look, X-23. Yeah, you know what I say to that? Read between the lines, Hasbro. Because I'm not getting that. I'm not doing it. Even on clearance, I'm not buying a pinned figure from anybody in 2025. I'm just not doing it. So, yes, Laura looks great. She's got, the spikes in her boots. Both head sculpts are amazing. Welcome back. You just missed me going off, really, really, really going off on Hasbro. But this is just pure laziness to give us such a cool looking lore and then expect people, because that's so cool looking, to be like, oh, we're gonna accept that this has pin limbs. Same knives we've seen 1,000 times. Also, they use those for Drax. They use those for the Hydra agent. They use them for everybody. And this has pins in the arms and legs. Oh my God, Hasbro. Like, don't even pretend. They don't even pretend anymore. And they're like, oh, people will buy X-Force. So I'm very much upset by, and here's their little tease of Rocket. So tell me in the chat what you think that could be. You can tell I don't give an F at this point, because this was just the lousiest, sloppiest, most lazy reuse Hasbro stream I've ever seen. We have 1, 2, 3, and then we had 5 Spider-Man on the back. We got all these new sculpts dedicated to skins that nobody gives a crap about. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say it's for Maximum Hulk, and I do expect that to be revealed soon. But this is just, do I even want a Maximum Hulk at this point? I like my 80th anniversary. I like my 80th anniversary Hulk, That one's great. So it's just let's check out my favorite place to like get off of this tangent and see if Big Bad Toy Store has anything to get the bad taste out of my mouth. Because god dang, Hasbro with your freaking Hasbroing, just making the world a worse place for us toy collectors on a horrible day. Just be like, here you go. Here's a bunch of crap. Oh, I do need to pre-order this guy at some point. We got the Mezco Samurai Jack over here. That's pretty sick. Gendy Tarkovsky, Primal Clone Wars, Samurai Jack, bunch of cool shows from this guy. So, he's great. Looks cool. I love that battle damage head sculpt. While my ranting is over, sorry about that. I got really mad there for a second. But Samurai Jack looks cool. That's a nice little palette cleanser there. Let's see what else they got. We got some Godzilla Ichiban, which means, oh, are those articulated? Is it articulated? No, it's a statue. Ichiban means it's a statue. I know this. But all that aside, let's talk about the last thing. I wasn't sure if I had time because I knew I was going to get on a rant about how much was Jack. Let me go back and check. I think he's 95. Yeah, $95. So Mezco is very reasonable with their prices because while you're not getting the most accessories with the Samurai Jack, I mean, you're still getting a lot. Actually, those head sculpts, and there you go. There's the rest of the accessories. You get more hair pieces and 5 head sculpts for $95. That's a steal, especially it being, not imported. As far as like the manufacturer, no, but like the person that sells it. How's it going, Diesel Not? And yes, I do understand the making it harder for customs. It's just when Hasbro keeps raising the price and to over a quarter of what an import costs, they need to up their quality. And the first thing that goes is you put in more engineering, which is why I think that Todd just needs a complete overhaul of his line because he hasn't re-engineered his figures for 5 years at this point, which is crazy. It's just not how you run a business, but Todd sure does it because he keeps selling his Batman. But let's get to the thing that I wanted to talk about, so this game just came out. I'm a big gamer. I play lots of games. So it came out yesterday. It was early on Game Pass for like a couple days, and I didn't want to pay to play that. But if you're aware of Obsidian, they've done games like they did Fallout New Vegas, the best Fallout game of all time. So if you know Fallout New Vegas, you know Obsidian. They did The Outer Worlds, which is a newer game. They did a game called Alpha Protocol, which no one else would know, but that's the kind of information I store in my head. I think they worked on some of the Baldur's Gate sequels. They've just done a lot of sequels to games that you wouldn't expect, but they've been doing their own stuff. Todd is Bats, Hasbro is Spidey. Yeah, Hasbro is Spider-Man and Wolverine. And you want to know why? And we all know why, because that's what sells. And yes, no one can argue that Batman and Spider-Man sell, but they're not all that sells. But the game in question that I'm talking about is, let's see if I can make this bigger. Can I make this bigger? No, I can't. It's Avowed, and Avowed is a really cool fantasy RPG. My girlfriend's been playing it on PC, and I've been playing it on Xbox. So it's very old school. It's very Elder Scrollsy feeling. It's difficult. It's not an easy game, so the difficulty is there, and it's just really pretty. Like it does not go the route of, oh, let's make this drab and dreary and all that stuff. Let's make this game look gorgeous. I think that's all the pictures I have for that right there. I'll find some more. But Avowed is just it's really fun. If you have an Xbox, if you have Game Pass, it's probably worth checking out at the very least, because I've already sunk a couple hours into it. It is very awesome indeed. Trying trying to find more pictures. Let's see. My keyboard is loud. I'm sorry. But it's got, you know, it feels like Elder Scrolls. It feels like, so it's like a mix of Elder Scrolls and Baldur's Gate, but it's first person in real time. So it's, the combat is harder than Elder Scrolls. It's more like Baldur's Gate difficulty. So normal is more like a hard, like it's not easy. And I would say some of the bosses, it's kind of like Souls like. So if you're into games that are not always so forgiving, and here, there's a bunch of images over here. Let me see. A bunch of new avowed screenshots just dropped. Here we go. So here's a couple more shots. And like I said, it's just a really pretty game. The colors are great. It's very, very just gorgeous. I don't know the way to put it. And like the Outer Worlds, if you played that, how's it going, Matt with 2 T's? Welcome to the stream. A little late, but welcome. Dexter's Lab. Well, I didn't know that was going to be what the question was, but I think he's just a kid. And to sound smart, he puts on the accent. I don't think it's his real accent. I think he's just faking it. That's just my opinion, y'all. But yeah, Avowed is very, very pretty. In fact, when I'm done with this stream, I'm probably going to go back to playing more Avowed, at least for a little bit. If not, doing some like, look at that. Look at that. The lighting is so good. The colors, I wish I could like make I don't know how to do this full screen on sharing, but oops, I skipped one. But it's one of the prettiest games. Obviously, it came out in 2025, so it better look good. But Avowed is just a really, really, hey, Junk Drawer, how's it going? Check out the Junk Drawers channel. Lots of interesting content, lots of cool stuff. They collect some cool stuff, so check them out. Check out their live streams as well. They talk a lot of stuff. If you like dolls, like Monster High dolls or Barbie dolls and all that stuff too, a lot of that stuff over there. I do have some Monster Highs in my collection, so yeah, Junk Drawer's great. Just like Avowed is great. It's one of those games that you just get sucked into, and Baldur's Gate was like that. And in fact, I didn't even beat Baldur's Gate 3 yet because I didn't want the game to end. So I just haven't beaten it. I'm like right at the end where you're supposed to go into the astral plane and be like, oh, Emperor, let me make my decision. But I was like, no. And then Dragon Age Veilguard came out, and I was like, cool, more fantasy game to sink my time into. And then I got close to the end of that, and I was like, I don't want my game to be over. And now we have Avowed, and I don't see that problem happening. I don't see myself being like, oh, I don't want to beat this game. I see myself making a new character and instead being a total jerk the whole time. Because right now, I'm trying to play it cool, trying to be neutral. I'm a big RPG fan. No, this is Obsidian. So these guys, they are one of the most awesome developers of all time. They made Fallout New Vegas, and they made Outer Worlds. Here, in fact, let me pull up Obsidian just so I can give them the full credit of how many games they've made, because they've made a lot of games, and you'd be surprised by what they've actually worked on. Because they've been in the industry for a very, very long time. So let's see what their games that they've made are. Oh yeah, they made KOTOR 2. So yeah, they made Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, Neverwinter Nights 2, which is, I believe that's a Dungeons and Dragons game. So Alpha Protocol, there's that game I mentioned, Fallout New Vegas, Dungeon Siege 3, South Park The Stick of Truth. Duh, oh my god, they made that, I forgot. Yeah, that's such a good game. Pillars of Eternity, Skyforge, Pathfinder Adventures, I don't know what that is. Armored Warfare, Tyranny. There we go. Outer Worlds, Grounded. Oh, that was fun. I didn't know they made that. See, I didn't even know that all these games they made. And of course, the Outer Worlds 2 is coming out. So Obsidian is a very, very amazing developer, and they've made some awesome games. And I love this about Avowed. So you can use like flintlock pistols. You can dual wield them, but you can also have like a dagger and a pistol because they're kind of slow. So it's just it's the combat is crazy and it's difficult. It's not easy. Like you obviously these are slow to reload, so it just makes the combat that much more difficult. But Avowed is really, really fun. So if you're a gamer, if you have an Xbox, yeah, Stick of Truth, I love that game. It's such a great use of South Park making it an RPG because, you know, the kids were always playing stupid games. But while we have a little bit of time left, let's go back to Big Bad Toy Store really quick. We'll check out the homepage because I know there's, oh, that's really cool. Is that a figure or is that a statue? God, all these cool things are statues that I pull up. But this is Metroid Prime Samus in a dark suit or Phazon suit and statue. So that sucks. Is there anything else that's new that's not a statue? Oh, I saw these the other day. Oh, NECA, how the mighty have fallen. This is what they're doing now. They're doing clear Ninja Turtles obviously for the last Ronin, because, you know, all the other turtles except for Mikey are dead. And NECA is one of those companies that also refuses to re-engineer their figures and get rid of those pins. So, you know, it's one of those things. Not the biggest fan of NECA at the moment. I used to be a lot bigger on them. Some days I debate selling all my NECA stuff, especially after I got that Mezco Ghostface. I was like, I could just play the waiting game, sell my NECA stuff, and just sit on that and just wait for the next Mezco horror figure to drop and just grab that as a replacement because you know they'll get through all of it eventually. That's just how it be sometimes. Right? Yeah, exactly. It's like Buy Figure Fight Club. Check out his channel, y'all. Please go subscribe. We really want to hit that 1,000 so that y'all and everyone else can have a chance at winning some of those great prizes. There's like 10 things he's giving away, not to mention some streams he even gives away stuff that's not even announced. So please go subscribe to Figure Fight Club. And yeah, that's essentially what it is. They're just smiling, watching Mikey from the shadows like, you did good, kid. Mikey's burning their corpses like, yeah, I did good. I haven't read The Last Ronin, but I feel like that's the vibe. It's just kind of grim and, oh, the turtles are dead. It's like, yeah, that's fun, right? All your favorite characters are old and dying. And how's it going, Derek? Welcome to the stream. First time on the chat. Well, welcome. We'll run for a couple more minutes. We're nearing the hour right here. Oh, this reminds me. So there's this little baby hippo right here. I don't know if y'all remember. There was a pre-order. This is so cute. There was a pre-order for like a 1/12 rhinoceros. It was like a armored rhinoceros, and let me see if I can pull it up because they canceled the pre-order. That's 1/6 scale. They canceled the pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store because they said they weren't getting it. So that means here it is. So it says sold out, but in fact, I don't think the company is making it anymore unless they're only making this version and they're not making just the base version anymore because I only wanted the regular rhino. Unless this is another figure. I don't know. I would go through my emails to find it, but I don't want to dox myself and put my emails up here. But there was a rhino similar to this. I'm not saying this is the exact one that I had pre-ordered. And it got canceled because they said it's no longer in production. So that meant that was just not going to come about. So yeah, a new TMNT for every generation, just like a new Star Wars, new Marvel. It's generational. They introduce new things. They see what people bite and what sticks around, and what does and what doesn't. So yeah, I was too. I was like, dang, that rhino was pretty cool. I was pretty disappointed that I got that email. It was expensive, but I was still like, I don't know what I would have done with it, but I'd be like, Black Panther could ride around on the Rhino, or I could just have anybody ride around on it. McFarlane exclusive gold label Ghost Force Ninja Ghost Turtles that were teenagers limited edition. There, I said it in one breath. Exactly. That's where NECA is at as far as releasing stuff. See, my voice keeps cracking. Let me check out. So before we go, let me go to just regular old Toy Arc and see if they have anything else toy related. I don't see anything new. Oh yeah, I try sometimes. Sometimes I try, not all the time. I don't see anything new announced. Oh, I saw these, and while it's interesting, it's not my scale. I do love Adventure Time, but this is not my scale. So I'm gonna pass on these. Plus, they're not articulated enough for me. It's cool we get the swappable parts, and I'm sure you can move like the arms and stuff and swap the arms and stuff. Those look to be bendy wire actually, which is interesting. But I think these are 1/6 scale. They're Mondo. So unless they're doing a lot more 1/12 stuff, I'll have to double check. Like I love Adventure Time. Finn and Jake are cool. There he's got his invisible arm. Yes, Adventure Time is very cool. Cool figures. Yeah, they're cool. I just don't know. Here, what's it say? The pre-orders open. What size are they? Does it say that? Am I just blind? Well, they're $135. So maybe they're, oh look, 2.7 here scale right here. 2.75, 3 inches. 5 inches. Oh, okay. So they're not 1/6 scale. They're like 1/9 scale? 1/9 scale. Bleh. So that's actually interesting. And so the set's 135. So I actually might be interested in that, but with the Mondo stuff, it sells out. There's this old battered sword. Mondo stuff tends to sell out pretty dang quick. Would have been nice if they had left like Lumpy Space Princess, you know. But yeah, Adventure Time, totally cool show if you haven't seen that. And then there's a couple of like new seasons and other shows on Max now, so it's still alive. What is this? Ooh. All right, we'll look at a couple more things here, just because there's still people around. Yeah, we do need a Marceline the Vampire Queen, don't we? So there's a reason I don't collect Hot Toys, and it's because, gosh dang, are they expensive. But this guy looks cool. Wouldn't get him, but definitely a cool looking T800 Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like they got the likeness down pretty well. And that's impressive how they do the pores and the facial hairs and all that stuff. Yeah, the leather, the soft goods, very impressive. I have the NECA T800 from this scene specifically when they're breaking in to get the robot arm. Going back to movies for a second, T2 is in my top 10 movies for sure. Really good movie. Definitely better than the first Terminator, which I've only seen like one time. But you know, interesting. Oh, look at that. That's cool. With the flowers and the shotgun case. Very cool. That's cool that they threw that in there. Let's see. If there's anything else interesting, I will talk about it. If not, we are at an hour and 4 minutes. So I try not to stay longer than an hour because there are other people with other streams on Thursdays. This is interesting. I did want to talk about this. So I do like werewolves. I'm glad we are in a werewolf renaissance, as it were, when it comes to action figures. But do we really need to be paying $50 for this werewolf NECA? Is it really $50 when you gave us that American Werewolf in London one for like $35? Come with me if you want to live in poverty. There you go. There's my Arnold. He's got the backwards bending knees, and The Howling is a werewolf movie that I've been intending to see. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks cool. The effects look great, and that werewolf looks really cool. But $50, NECA, really? In this economy, $50 for a werewolf that's... You've charged $35 for werewolves before, and the ones that are much, much bigger are like $100. Bimo would be a good name for a cat. It would be a good name for a cat. I love Bimo. But yeah, $50, NECA, come on. Who's chaining you yanking? And why are you yanking it so hard? Because that's just ridiculous. Maximum werewolf. Maximum werewolf. I mean, if Hasbro made a maximum werewolf by night and it was like $50 and it had like 4 different head sculpts and different hands and different like accessories, diorama stuff, I wouldn't hate it. But this is Hasbro we're talking about. So that would never, ever happen. All right, so people go to 1 hour and 15 minutes because, like I said, still people in here, still lively. So I thought this guy was cool. Still haven't pulled the trigger on a Haya Godzilla. I do have their Judge Dredd though, but this guy looks cool. You could use him in whatever. It doesn't have to be for Godzilla. You could just have whoever, like Red Sonja or Marvel Legends, whoever G.I. Joe's fighting this guy, because it's a big scary spider, and who doesn't hate a big scary spider and want to smush it or blow it up and tear it apart, do whatever you can to get it away from you. And I think it's articulated. It might be 6 inches tall. 6 inches tall, yeah, 6 inches tall. So pretty cool. Haya's doing some interesting, cool stuff over there, and I am here for it. Any monsters and whatever they wanna throw our way, go for it, because I will do my best to try and get it. And yeah, maybe not 1 hour and 15 because I don't see anything else on here. Mondo once again with the Ghostbusters. Egon from, is this the 1/12 one? It's gotta be the 1/12 one. Here we go with the scale. Yeah, 8.5 inches for that guy. And this one is 6.5. So this is, yeah, their 1/12 scale real Ghostbusters line. And this is like, oh, look at that guy. That's cool. This is like 100 and, what is it? $200 for these 3 figures. And wow, those are great looking. I do not have the emotional or monetary attachment to Ghostbusters to justify getting something like that. So cool for other people that want them. Cool for me to look at. But I'm not going to be getting them. I don't even have my Plasma Series Ghostbusters up on the shelf. I just don't have a spot for them. So yeah, really quick rundown. My top 5 movies for anyone that came in late. Number 5, The Departed. Number 4, Star is Born. Number 3, The Return of the King. Number 2 is Empire Strikes Back. And number 1 is Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think that Hasbro's new Pulse Stream, the Spider-Man wave with their one reveal for the comic books, which had a pinned figure, is just total crap show. Just a big old out of 10. And I think that everyone should play Avowed if you're into RPGs. It's only on Xbox and PC right now. But if you have an Xbox or a PC and you have Game Pass, no brainer, go play that game. At least go try it out. And yeah, as always, I love you. I will see you next time. Thanks for chatting, and bye-bye. Mwah.